So today what we're doing is we're taking and we're going to multiply polynomials by a monomial. Okay, so we got polynomials and we even threw in some trinomials, binomials, whatever. We're all multiplying all by a monomial. Okay, so single term getting multiplied by polynomials in here. Guys, this is your distributive property. You've done it, you've seen it, it's the same thing. You're going to take this term, the whole term, and multiply it by each term inside of those parentheses. That's all you're doing here. But what you got to remember, all your exponent rules and how to combine like terms and things like that. So we're just going to get into it, show you how this works. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to take x squared and I'm going to multiply it times 5. Then I'm going to take x squared and I'm going to multiply it times x squared. So x squared times 5 gets me 5x squared. Because 5 times x squared, that's what it is. Minus x squared times x squared. Now this is your product of powers rule. Right? When you multiply two powers with the same base, you add their exponents. So here you have x to the 4th. That is in its simplest term because you cannot combine these two things just like you could not combine these two things. They're not like terms, okay? But now what we need to do is take them and put it in standard form where our highest degree is to the front. So we're going to take this and put it to the front. Negative x to the 4th plus 5x squared, okay? Reorder. Right. They should have had it like that to begin with in here, but you're going to see problems like that to do that. And later on, you're going to see why this is so important. Okay? But that's all there is. Same thing here. Distribute. Here, here, and here. Every term inside of there. So x to the first, right, times x to the second gets you x to the third. Minus 12x to the first times x to the first. 12 is still there. X to the first times x to the first. Add the exponents. Get you x to the second. And now x times 1, well, any number multiplied times 1 gets you back that number. So plus x, and then we check. Yep, we're good. We're in the right order. And that's, I mean, this is not hard, but you've got to pay attention to what you're doing. All right? Now look, 2x squared. Well, now we're going to be multiplying with the 2 and the x all the way through. So all of this gets distributed. So here goes here, 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 and here. Goes to everything inside of those parentheses. So 2x to the second, well, you're going to multiply the 2 and the 5 together. That gets you 10. And then you're going to do the x's. Well, that's product of power rule. So the 3 and the 2 combine together to get you 5. Minus, and if you wanted to, you could have done this. Would have worked. It's fine. I could do plus here. And then 2 times 15, negative 15, gets us negative 30. X to the second gets you x to the 4th, okay? And then plus, and this times this, 2 times 2 gets you 4, x to the second, x to the first power gets you x to the 3rd, plus this times this, well that's 2 times 2, which gets you 4, x to the second, check to make sure that they're in order, okay? And this is one way to write this. The other way is you could do this. Those two things are the same thing, okay? Guys, I'm telling you, you can do this. This is not a problem. If you can use your distributive property and you know your exponent rules, you can do this, okay? Same thing here, except now look, you have distributive property here, and you have distributive property here, okay? So you're going to take all of this, and notice that negative's in there with it. Goes here, here, and then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna do this one. So let's do this one first. Well, first thing I'm gonna do here is I do wanna change this because I'm gonna be multiplying through by a negative, and I wanna see that right there. Okay, so negative 4x times 5x squared. Negative 4 times 5, negative, I lost it for a second. Negative 20x to the third. Okay? The x to the first, x to the second, add them, negative 4 times 5 gets you negative 20. Plus, negative 4x to the first times negative 12, a negative times a negative is positive. 4 times 12 gets you 48, and the x is still there. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to take this and distribute it here and here. Same thing, plus 7x, 7 times x gets you 7x, plus 7 times 5, 35. Now, when you look at it, you go, oh, I'm done. No, you're not done. Look, you got like terms right here. You got to put them together. Okay? Negative 20x to the third plus 48. 55x. Just add them together. They're both positive. They're being added. Add them together. Plus 35. And guys, that's really all there is to this. Like, there's not a lot in this. Again, if you know how to distribute a normal number, if you know how to deal with your product of power rules, if you know how to combine like terms, if you already know those things, this is just adding a layer to it. That's all it is. Okay? Now we've put, instead of just having the number by itself out there, we've added a variable to that number to distribute along with it. That's the only difference. Okay? Know those rules. If you know those, you're going to be good. If you have any questions, let me know.